365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish we-done whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome to Take 2 of the 365flicks podcast.
Take 2? It's been a while.
It's been a while since we fucked up this bad.
Was it? Well, your fault.
Well, no, but that's all good. Yep, you are listening to the 365flicks podcast. I am the Pissy X video. Oh man, you're going to get a chance to do this right this time.
Well,
That was
we've all had a drink, Kevin.
That was well funny. Anyway, so I am the Pissy X video store clerk, Kevin.
I am the Scottish Weedon whore, Chris.
Not the Scottish Weedon Pissy Hall.
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened there.
Pissy video store Weedon Hall. You were trying to take my thing. That's never going to happen, though. So, yeah, we are back. We're back once again. We have got a jam-packed episode for you. We have our regular Schmegular news section, which everybody loves. We have our top 5 coming later on, which is, I'll let you tell the good people.
Top 5 for Halloween. Top 5 high scores from movie or TV horrors.
I love how we're billing it as a Halloween top 5. Like you say, though, it will be out before.
Plenty of things are billed as what they're not. What are you going to do? And we're also going to discuss whether we think that we would survive or not.
Yeah. How did you get on with your high school anyway? Did you survive high school?
Well, I'm here.
It was like a horror story, wasn't it? You went to IMOF though, didn't you?
I did, So it was a little bit like 13 Reasons Why, but, that's not for here.
13 Reasons Why, but way more needles on the floor.
Yeah.
We are also going to be doing our world-famous What Have You Been Watching section, which is exactly what it says on the tin. We will be talking about the movies we have been watching. We have our Just the Pilot, which is BBC One drama The Capture, which is almost a reality TV show.
Yeah.
In a way.
Documentary.
And the feature review on this episode is going to be 24 Little Hours, a movie that we have been pimping for a couple of years now. We're quite pally with the people that made it. A few of the actors that are in it have been on the show. If you listen to our Indie Talk episodes, you'll have heard us talk about 24 Little Hours. 24 Little Hours. Or 24 Hours in London, as IMDb is calling it. I'm calling it 24 Little Hours.
Aye, that's a better name.
That's what I've known it as. So this is a movie brought to us from director Paul Knight, and we didn't mention her before as much as we should, but his lovely, lovely wife Diane, who is awesome.
Yes, she is.
She is awesome. 24 Little Hours. It's a movie that we've been pimping out for a couple of years now on the Indie Talks. We've had Neil on the show, we've had Chris on the show, we had Paul on the show to talk about Landscape of Lies, which is his previous movie, and he talked to us about 24 Little Hours as well. So this is a movie that we've been pretty close to in the making of, leading up to it coming out, and we couldn't go. They had like a screening a couple of months back. We couldn't get down there for that, which I was a bit bummed about. But the movie is imminently coming out. It's going to be out in January, I believe. So we got sent a review copy to see what we thought.
Yes, we did.
Because we are 365 and our opinion matters.
I like to think so.
Yes. Put that on your box. 365, the opinion matters.
They're not going to tell what the opinion is.
No. They'll put yours on. Because we will have that. We will repeat that because obviously this is take 2, but the old, I didn't play with my phone.
Oh, right.
That's definitely going on the box.
I couldn't remember what it said.
So yeah, man, let's get into this. We're not going to do any spoilers because the movie is, it's coming out soon and we do want people to see it, so there'll not be any spoilers. We'll just kind of give a broad general overview of what we think of the movie and whether we think you should see it. So, So Chris, initial thoughts and feelings. How did you get on with it?
I got on fine with it. Is it like a perfect movie? No, there's some issues, but there's nothing so bad that I like, fuck this, I'm not watching this.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I think...
And let's be honest, over the years, we've watched a few of them.
Oh, yes, we have.
Especially through this podcast.
Yeah.
So we know how to spot a howler.
And this is not that.
No,
it's
this definitely
not that. So I got on fine with the movie. I think everyone's fucking great in it. Fiona Skinner.
Yeah, let's just start there. Let's start there.
It's fucking superb. So the movie takes place in flashback form. So Fiona Skinner plays D.I. Summers, who is investigating or interrogating witnesses to, well, there's been a hell on.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's chaos.
So Fiona Skinner is investigating by interrogations witnesses to this event that's happened, and the story of the film is told in flashback form, which is, it's a nice little way to tell the story of what's happened. So that's kind of the premise of the film. Fiona Skinner is great. Yeah,
she's fantastic in this. Like, with the whole flashback thing and all that, and like, I do want to shout out Paul and obviously the editing of the movie, because the transitions between shots is just like, they've done it really well. There's a couple where it's sort of just like fades out and fades up kind of thing with like a little blur, but I quite like that. But for the most part, it was like whatever was sort of happening in the interrogation room, they were able to link it into that scene. Like, you've got the scene with the girl who's a meth head or a crack addict or whatever she is in the warehouse, and she's sort of like sitting there and she's telling the story, and she starts doing the gun hands, and she's like blah 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 blah, and it's like the sound of the guns, and then it transitions that way. I think I mentioned to you that sort of like Guy Ritchie's quite good at doing that kind of thing. I know you don't like Guy Ritchie, but he's good at doing that kind of thing. And Paul does that with quite a degree of professionalism in this movie. He really kind of hits that mark, and everything just works for me on that angle, which is why, whereas flashbacks isn't my favourite form of storytelling, it works really well in this. So I'll give him props on that. Like, he kept me interested on that. So
yeah.
But it is basically the story of Fiona Skinner's character finding out what has all happened in the last 24 hours, in which we meet Chris Johnson, who plays sort of a Daniel Craig layer cake type character. You don't know who he is. Sort of, he's coming out of prison, and he is about to just cause fuck in London. And his sister was murdered, so he's like, right, I am going to come out of prison, and you're all going to die.
Yeah.
And he just decides he's going to unleash holy hell. Hooks up with his old crew, and they go around the day just, doing what villains do. Part of the villain crew, the villains, the badasses, you have Chris Johnson there, who I thought was great. Like, it's a damn sight different to Erebus.
Oh yeah,
very very different to Erebus. So it's nice to see that. Chris has been known in the past to do like the wide boy gangster roles.
I don't actually think. I think that this was nice and different from that as well, though.
He had a touch of the Scott Adkins about him. Like, I'm a Scott Adkins fan, as you know. Yeah, he had a touch of that, and I liked that. So he wasn't necessarily a Cockney wide boy or anything like that. He was just a bit of a ruthless cant. So loved him personally. And this isn't a gripe on the movie or anything, because I like the way it's formatted and I like the way it's done. I kind of would have liked to have seen more of the movie just from his perspective.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree. There was a moment where they were all in the car together.
Yeah.
I think it was just after he'd been to the cemetery.
Yeah.
That's where they kind of were introduced to Neil's character.
Neil does that line from the trailer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking great line.
And
there's a lot of good lines in this.
I remember thinking, like, I would love to see just these guys.
Yeah.
Particularly Neil and Chris.
Neil's great as well.
Yeah.
But I am gay for Neil, so...
I know you are.
Yeah. He's in Bear Yeet, man. I love Bear Yeet. I know you're not a fan. It's the rap trio that he made with...
Yeah, forget
about bygones. But yeah, so
to be fair though,
he's hanging about with his team, which is Neil's in there again. Neil's fantastic. A little bit underused, maybe. Would it be nice to have seen a bit more of him?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's same with Fiona Skinner. I would have ideally. Okay, so like they had a story to tell.
Yeah.
Within a certain amount of time, so there's only so much you can do. I get that. I get it. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen Fiona Skinner going like
out and about.
Out and about, yeah.
Out and about, down the boozer.
In the town.
Down the boozer.
And these guys are going to be listening to this going, those arseholes.
Those northern bastards.
So
is that what you get when you're north of the wall?
I would have liked to seen her outside the interview room a little bit.
I do get what you're saying.
I get why it wasn't.
It fits the narrative the way it's meant to be, sort of.
And I get that. But
she's keeping the whole thing cohesive. She's keeping it all cohesive the way she does it. So I didn't really have much of a problem with that.
I thought she was fucking fantastic, and I wanted to see more of her. Is all.
Rounding out the Villain crew, the Knockaround Boys. You have Mark Bannerman, who Gianni from EastEnders. Gianni DeMarco. I could not. That was terrible.
That was Yorkshire.
I don't know what that was, but yeah, he's all up in there. Somewhat of a revelation for me.
Yeah, like, he put in a good turn, if anything.
He puts in a bloody good turn, like bit of a ruthless kind of. Yeah, I was, without sounding completely patronising and an asshole, I was really surprised with Mark Bannerman in this movie. I was going to say Beppe there. that was the brother, wasn't it?
Yeah, I spent a lot of the movie going, what was his name? I cannot remember. I can't remember. Yeah.
But no, he was fantastic, and obviously you had Danny Midwinter, who's just Danny Midwinter. You know, I raved about him in Landscape of Lies. He puts in another performance here that it's Danny Midwinter. But yeah, man, like I've watched a lot of gangster movies in my time, and especially a Brit gangster movie, and a lot of them just fall flat for me, and often just they very rarely get it right. And that's one thing I do think this movie does do, and it's down to the writing of the movie. Whereas the storyline isn't, earth-shatteringly original. Like it's not. You've seen stuff like this before. It's not new, really. To be fair, the dialogue and the way it's written is
the dialogue is a big part of it, and the performances is a big part of it as well.
I feel like he's done a cracking job at making not necessarily a tired genre, but a genre that is very much there. It's very much present, but he's made it a little bit fresh with his writing. It's really well written, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I did make this point on take one, but I think for me a big part of it was the dialogue.
Yeah,
and lately I've been making a conscious effort to not fuck about with my phone while I've been watching a movie, and I didn't touch my phone one time during this movie.
Like I say, on the poster.
Yeah, there you go.
On the poster.
There you go.
365flicks did not touch their phone one time in this movie.
And also, like we joke about it a lot that like all movies set in the UK are set in London because of course they fucking are. When it comes to sort of London white boy line, cheeky Cockney cats and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them lose me because I think that there are so many of them.
Yeah.
And it takes a special one to not lose me, and this one didn't lose me. So
excellent. So the movie, as I say, is, I'm sure it's January. I'm sure I was told January. The movie will be dropping on streaming platforms, and I'm sure it'll be on physical as well. We really want you guys to check out. It's a really good film that needs to be seen. And remember as well, this movie was made in 8 days. They went out and they made a movie in 8 days on I'm sure it was 30 odd different locations. That in itself is no small feat.
Really
they've done a hell of a job. I remember speaking to Richard at the time, Richard Oakes, the DOP, and he was basically saying that every day he was broken, like every day, like just moving quickly, getting the shots, just and that's fair play to the guys. They went out and they did it, and the actors they have in there's some really good actors in there, some damn fine actors, and like I say, the dialogue, there's some great like sort of lines that you can see on a poster, like sort of how you get your character posters. Neil gets most of them, but there's some great like one-line sentences that you're like, oh man, I could see that on a poster.
Some of the lines that he had in the car.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. And I will say one last thing before we move on. There's a confrontation in the movie between Mr. Midwinter and Mr. Ward. 100% Neil's going to take him. he could take him.
Neil could definitely take him.
Yeah.
Or you mean Neil's character or Neil? Both.
We'll say character so we don't get into trouble.
All right, okay.
Right. But we both know who I'm talking about. Wink, wink. I don't really need to do the wink. I've said
you don't need to do that.
No,
because
okay.
we're a podcast, kid.
Okay. I just thought we were on YouTube for a second. So we're going to leave it at that?
I think we will.
Right, man. We're going to go.
Yeah.
We will be back with another episode. Hopefully it won't take 2 takes, but we'll get there. And yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit later than I anticipated.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm on holiday next week, so.
But yeah, I'm off tomorrow. Be fine.
Sweet. So we'll peace out on this bitch.
We will do.